Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Rob's Movie Reviews. I'm really excited about the movie I'm going to review for you this week. It's the 1939 MGM classic, The Wizard of Oz. This is a magical movie. I saw it when I was about 7 or 8 years old. I immediately fell in love with it. It made a huge impression on me, and even to this day, I'm in my 50s now, and I still love The Wizard of Oz, and take any opportunity I can get to watch it. It's a wonderful, wonderful movie. It's a timeless classic. It stars Judy Garland, Margaret Hamilton, Jack Haley, and Ray Bolger. The story is of a young girl, Dorothy, played by Judy Garland. She's growing up on a farm in Kansas with her aunt and uncle, and she is very upset and sad because she's unhappy because she feels that nobody takes her seriously. Nobody ever wants to listen to anything that she has to say. So she decides to run away. However, on the road, she meets a very kind gentleman, older gentleman, who convinces her that she's going to break her aunt's heart if she doesn't go back home. So she turns around with her sweet little dog Toto and she heads back to the farm. Unfortunately, just before she arrives, a huge cyclone comes ripping through the countryside, and everybody else on the farm, her aunt and her uncle, and all the farm hands have all taken refuge in the storm shelter. And Dorothy, because the doors are already locked, she can't get in. So she goes in the house and tries to find somewhere to take shelter. She ends up getting struck in the head by a window, I believe, that breaks loose and flies across the room, and it knocks her unconscious, and she goes into a dream state. And during her dream, she is transported to the magical land of Oz. Her house lands. It's picked up by the cyclone and dropped, and it lands right in the middle of a land called Munchkin Land, which is part of Oz. And it also happens to land on top of the evil, wicked witch of the East. And then Dorothy is introduced to the Munchkins and to the beautiful and kind good witch of the North, Glinda, who tells Dorothy that if she wants to go home, the only person that would have the power to help her would be the wonderful, wonderful Wizard of Oz. But before Dorothy can set out on her journey, she's confronted by the evil, wicked witch of the West, who swears revenge on her for killing her sister and taking her ruby slippers, which Dorothy never intended to do, but Glinda put the slippers on her to protect them from the wicked witch, because if she gets them, she'll become all powerful. So Dorothy sets out on her journey following the yellow brick road on her way to the Emerald City to meet the wizard. And along the way, she meets three wonderfully lovable characters. The Scarecrow, who badly wants a brain, and Dorothy convinces him to follow her to Emerald City and asks the wizard if he's a great wizard, as she's been told he is. There shouldn't be any reason why he couldn't give the Scarecrow a brain. And then farther down the road, they meet a Tin Man, and he's sad because what he wants more than anything in the world is a heart. And when the tinsmith built him, he forgot to give him a heart. So again, Dorothy convinces him to come along to Emerald City and ask the wizard for a heart. Then when they're passing through the spooky dark forest, this is when they encounter the Cowardly Lion. He's my personal favorite character of the movie. I just love the lion. You put him up, put him up. Come on, come on. I got to do that every time I talk about this movie. I just love the lion. But he has no courage, so he considers himself a bad lion, a pitiful lion. But they convince him to come to Emerald City with them so that he can ask the wizard for courage. And when they get to Emerald City, the wizard tasks them with bringing him the broomstick of the Wicked Witch of the West. If they can do this, he'll grant all their wishes. I don't want to spoil the whole movie for you. I'll just give you the basic story, the beginning and the direction it's going to go in. I don't want to spoil it for you. I can't imagine anybody out there watching this video that hasn't seen The Wizard of Oz at some point in their life. But just in case, I'm not going to spoil it for you. But this is a great movie. Sit down, watch it with your kids if they haven't seen it yet. Like I said, it's a timeless classic. It's filled with wonderful songs. Somewhere Over the Rainbow. If I Only Had a Brain. There's just some wonderful music for this movie. In fact, the song Somewhere Over the Rainbow actually won an Academy Award for Best Original Song. The movie was nominated for 6 Academy Awards, but only won 2. It won Best Original Song and Best Score. The film finally, the film, like I said, the film was released in 1939. It made its television debut in 1956 on the CBS television network, and it was one of the most watched television events up to that point in time, and it skyrocketed right away to a level of popularity that it never saw while it was in the cinemas. The film was made on a $3 million budget. It did about let me see, I have it written down. Yes, $26 million at the box office. Its first run at the cinema, it did not do that well, only doing about $3 million, so it just barely broke even. It was kind of considered a flop for MGM. However, it was re-released in 1949, and that's when it really took off and made the bulk of its money at the cinema. But even then, the popularity that it reached would not come anywhere close to what it would achieve when it was debuted on television in 1956. And the movie became a pop culture phenomenon. And in fact, it was one of the first 25 films that the Library of Congress actually put on the National Film Registry for its contribution to pop culture. And it's just, the film since then, since its first release, won multiple awards from different academies. It's one of the most loved films throughout the entire world. It's been translated into over 100 different languages. It's a magical movie that everybody should take the time to see at least once in their lifetime. I can't imagine too many people that once they've seen it once won't want to sit down and watch it again, because it's just that wonderful of a film. But that's going to do it for my review of The Wizard of Oz. I really hope that if you get a chance, you'll see it if you haven't already. It is available on DVD and Blu-ray. I don't know if it's on any streaming services. I imagine it has to be somewhere out there on the internet. But I would say the best chance of seeing it would be to purchase either the DVD or the Blu-ray. And with that, I'm going to bid you a farewell. And until next time, you all take care.